have a story to share with you all. I have a story that comes from my hometown and a story that I think all of you need to hear. It's a story about someone that I know personally and someone that we all have known for almost our entire lives. His name is Artie Porter. He's the chief of Carter County Police, the schools. And there was an incident a couple years back where at the middle school, West Carter Middle School, there was a student that came into the school with a firearm, ready to harm students and staff. It was going to be a horrible event that no one was prepared for. And speaking a little bit more about that, Artie was there. He was the school resource officer. He was the only one there who even had a little bit knowledge of what was going on, and he barely had any knowledge of anything. So whenever he was rounding a corner, he came face to face with the shooter and with the gun right at his face. And that's scary. That's something that shakes somebody to their core, even someone as experienced and skilled as he is. And it's just something that we never want to happen. So I want to share with you guys today something that I think will help stop situations like that from happening in schools across the country and not just in our neck of the woods. We're Bird's Eye Security Services, and we're saving time and saving lives. Our product, what I was mentioning, is an auto-updating incident command system. It allows for real-time updates of what is happening as soon as it happens, as soon as it's updated. There's multiple officer views, not just one. It is easy for sorting information out. You can see things that can help prevent bad things from happening and help save lives. My name is Lindsay Stone. This is Mackenzie Kelly, and this is Jackson Tackett. We all go to West Carter High School. So speaking a bit more about our company, we are an emergency response focused organization. Really, we're helping to aid those who protect us. We want to give them the ability to communicate with each other so they can better protect all of us. But going back to the story about RD, we've come into this realization that the problem really is lack of available personnel, training, and technology. And we've also learned that it's not just him. There's so many other agencies around where this stuff happens, and there is a real problem that does need to be fixed. So let's go a little bit more in depth on who those people really are.
Our target customers are first responders, which include EMS, firefighters, and police and security. The alternatives that are already in place are radio communication, witness accounts, and dry erase incident commands. I would like to introduce you to the 3A. First being affordability. We have a lower cost than the already in place systems. The next being accessibility, which easy purchase on our website that can be used anytime, anywhere. And finally would be accessibility, which would be our product would be used by small agencies. Our product is delivered through our website after you pay the subscription.
So I'm going to dive more to the cost of our subscription. It's $1,000 that you pay one time on our website. You get a copy of a file of our incident command board that we make, and that subscription is renewed yearly, like annually, on the date it was activated the following year for an additional $1,000. Here's a look at our website. We have some tabs specifically for our services. We have an About Us page, frequently asked questions, customer support. The left is what our About Us page looks like. And then on the right, we have a little bit more information, going more in depth on our product. This is what it looks like if a responder was going to input information of an incident, their first and last name, subject first and last name, and location, etc., things like that. And all of that would go into this bigger incident command board system that the incident commander could use to have a concise place to find all of the information that's reported on an incident. So we are going to meet up in meetings where our target market is present, so we can present our pitch to them and make sure that they know that we want to help and that we have something that they could use. And we know that our service will be very beneficial to them, and we know that they'll be willing to spread it by telling other departments and agencies about our service. And a bonus, if they do so, any department or agency that helps us land new business gets a $200 referral bonus. So going into the future, we need to address some of our ongoing needs. We have some digital maintenance. We have our overhead fees. The overhead fees include insurance, marketing materials, and our website hosting fees. So the only thing that we're going to ask for you, two things. We need assistance with coding for our incident command board. And other than that, the only thing we ask from you guys is networking. If you guys know anyone, any department, any agency that can use our product, we promise we won't disappoint. And as a good bonus, if you help us land new business, $200 goes right into your pockets. We'd like to thank you all for your attention. What questions do you guys have?
Just help me make the connection. Like, the story you started with was really compelling, this kind of like scenario that occurred with this officer and a student with a weapon. How does this incident program, affect those kinds of things from happening?
In an incident like that would occur, like, he didn't have any knowledge where the shooter was, like anything like that. And this digital, like, incident command board, other officers could input the information that they know that others might not know, so situations like that wouldn't happen. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, which in this case, so it would require like someone else in the school to have seen the kid with the weapon or have identified him as a threat for the other officer to like be aware of it.
Yes.
So I don't know if this like system includes some kind of like protocol for like how students come into the school, or something on the preventative side, I guess is what I'm getting at, but yeah.
Yeah, I think a similar question for me in understanding over time, help me understand over time, the information that's put into the system. Is it related to one incident, or you're building over time to get a better sense of threats in particular areas?
So the officers that use the command board, they have a viewing page of just the whole board. But in the future, that incident commander is able to edit all of it. So they can use it for as long as they want on a certain incident, as well as they could use multiple copies for separate incidents. Or say if there's a house fire that happens, there are multiple firefighters there. They can report all of the incidents that happened during that fire, and then the incident commander can go in and clear it whenever they get all the information they need, and that can be reused as many times as they want to.
Great, thank you.
I really like your all's idea. I'm in the wireless industry, so mobile devices, are what I focus on. So one of the things that I'm kind of curious on as you go down the path of development, could you maybe consider a widget or something, because everybody usually has a device on their person, to help them understand, am I walking into a danger zone? Like this gentleman was walking into a danger zone, but if there may have been something that he could have looked at real quick to say, where is it at, what location, it may have better helped him prepare to respond, on something. Have you all thought about that type of development of how does other people learn what's going on other than law enforcement?
So, one of the main things that we were thinking about is in the event of, like, let's say there's a massive school shooting and there's multiple agencies involved, like different foreign police departments come in to help. Like, say there's like a hostage situation inside of the school. Instead of showing up and having to learn like what's going on, or having to go to an incident command office to get the information and then go to the scene, you can show up with your device on that incident. You can go to the incident command station and you can see what's going on as soon as you get your feet on the ground, and that's saving more time if you get there and have the information you need, rather than having to find out what's going on first and then addressing the problem. You can more effectively save time and get it done quickly.
So just playing devil's advocate here, how does this stand out in comparison to like a 911 command center with all the information they gather and disperse out? Have you all compared it with that to see why your product would be better to stand out?
Of course. We've looked online at some of those physical whiteboards that they use with the graphics of the incident, the stuff that goes on it. And those range around $600 to $1,000. And we offer ours at the same high price of $1,000. But the thing that the physical erase boards don't have is the convenience and the remote access anywhere you are. So if those police officers have their devices on them and have this application or service installed on their device, wherever they are, they're going to be able to check that information, as the physical command board can only be in one place at one time. So that's really what we're going for, is the convenience of getting that information spread as fastly and as accurately as possible in one spot. Did that answer your question? Thank you so much.
Does anything like this exist already that you know of?
Where we've looked, no, we've been online and we've even searched up like digital command boards or other alternatives, and we've talked to police officers, and they don't get to use the command boards very often just because they're just so much of a hassle just being in one spot, being physical. It gets crowded, kind of like a bottleneck situation. There's a big situation going on. There's a lot of people that need to show up to the same place to get the same set of information. So we think that we're really revolutionizing the way that these people could get their information at a low cost.
And the product doesn't involve any cameras or any audio, right? It's just
Not currently, no. Just
typing in the
information.
data of where the incident is occurring and what's happening and who it is and whatever else they can get in.
Exactly. In the future, we would love to get into branching out, and that's one of our main concerns, is just making sure that we are saving time, because saving time saves lives.
Did any of the entities you've worked with, the schools or the other entities or the police, did they express a desire for this?
Of course, yes. Our current school resource officer, his name's Eric, and we went down to talk to him, and he said if they had stuff like this, it would be put in use way more often, not only for like the police stations that don't use it a lot, but for those fire stations that have incidents that happen all the time. That would be extremely beneficial to just be something that they have all the time. they also expressed the excitement for having something that they don't currently have that they'd love to have.
Well, that would be something you would want to emphasize. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you're the boots on the ground policeman or fireman, and it's a, you know, a time, I mean, you're in it right then, is it going to be quick sign in? Are there going to be any shortcuts to sending certain messages or anything like that?
You know, now that you say something like that, we haven't really thought about something like that. We more focused around like a house fire or like a hostage situation where everything is like sort of like trying to keep the situation calm. But that's something that we could definitely look into that. That's a really good point to bring up. It's a really good question.
I think that would be my question as well, just the logistics of a use case of this in a really kind of emergency situation. And I think the school shooting in Georgia, there was some kind of security service, that technology that helped with some kind of an alarm that each teacher had. I remember reading about it, but not sure exactly what it was. So making sure you clarify, is this for an emergency response situation, or is it in kind of a long-term tracking the incidents of something that's not like urgent, but we have time to get your phone out and update, and some people have time to review? Just some clarity around that. And which use case you imagine this being most used in, maybe my question. Is it, because the use case you started with was a school shooting, and so with Peyton just trying to help understand how this would be used in that type of case, or would it more like a house fire where we've gathered around, we have a lot of agencies here, and we're just trying to figure it out. And so that's one question, is which one of those do you think is the most used? And then the value proposition specifically to who is buying it. So the police department, why is it worth their money to pay you for this? How does it improve their efficiency?
I guess that makes sense, you know, not being able to be used during emergencies. I guess we would more or less hope for this to be used during those high intensity but like long time situations. But in the future, we want it to be able to be used by everyone.
Yeah.
So no matter what situation goes on, we just like to make sure that they can use it. And with those police officers not having a big incentive to use these, we still would like to offer a service that they don't currently have, that we think that they'd use more often, no matter what the situation could be.
It would be cool, like Larry said, if you had a testimonial or even like a police chief on your team that was part of, that was saying this would change our, like from their credibility experience, saying this would, that would be great to have that on your team for sure. But good stuff. It was really, the depth you've thought about it, the planning, this is all really good stuff. So good job.
Thank you.
Your all's branding is terrific. So it's visually really appealing. The name of the company is compelling. When you made the statement, "We are Bird's Eye Security Services," that was really strong. I wanted to see you all, you had your pictures early in the slideshow, and then when you went to the 3-member team, kind of with the security visual behind them, I wanted to see you all like superimposed in that space and throughout. Would have been great. And just to add to the testimonial piece, as you all continue to work on this, I'd encourage you to think about a demonstration video to help us. I think you used the word revolutionary, and my brain isn't where you need it to be to understand the revolutionary part of it, maybe because I'm not in the field. So I think a demonstration video might help unpack the ahas for a layperson.
I think that would definitely be a good thing that we could look into. to help show you guys better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're
it's
dressed
great.
well for your team presentation as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be great. Here's video one, here's what happens, current state versus here with our technology, how this same incident would be. Like a visual of that would be really good.
Yeah.
If you haven't been in like a 911 call center before, I'd go check that out too. Like our local one, we've been in it. We've worked on an app that was maybe like a little bit similar to this in the past, and just seeing what products are out there that might not be exactly what you're thinking about, but are different, and then how that helps you differentiate. I mean, it's been alluded to here, but you know that'll help it be stronger too.
There was a student group last year in the competition that presented a similar idea, but they had cameras in the school, and it was, I think, both during an incident but also in preparation of an incident. They had a different intention. It was originally intended to help new students familiarize themselves with the school before they could go into the school, but it turned out they weren't allowed to do that for privacy issues. But then some of the emergency responders spoke up and said, hey, that looks interesting to us. So it might be there's a correlation between your two ideas and two business ideas and products. Do you already know about it?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny that you say that, because the people who helped develop that, they're back there. They made Insight, and it's really cool, and we really were inspired by that to share our own kind of spin on helping protect people.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think on that Insight presentation they had a video of Eric actually talking about Insight and how helpful it would be. And I remember me and Mr. Shepard went down one day on one of those first days we started talking about this idea, and we talked to him about it. And he said, he was like, oh yeah, it'd be something that we don't have that we would definitely use. Probably not as often as like a fire station or EMS or something like that. But, I thought about it. I was like, it'd be cool to have a video, but like I just never really backed up on it. So it's
Maybe
really
if
great
you
that
could-
you brought that up.
If you could meet up with those students, you could possibly work together. Maybe the two ideas would go very well together.
Yeah, I think it would. That's really good that you brought that up.